welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we are going to be facing the challenge of completing Small Hat by the Cogito. Now this I have understood the title of, because as I stared at this grid for long enough, I noticed that there are two eyes here. And this is a nose, and this is a mouth, and this is like a chin, and this is some squiggly Medusa-like hair, and on the top of Medusa's head is indeed a small hat. So we're going to have a go at this in a minute. It is a very interesting rule set. It's another of these sort of deconstruction puzzles where we're going to have to work out where the 3x3 boxes go. You will note, if you are observant, that this is not a 9x9 grid. I think it is 11x11. So we're in for fun and games. Anyway, before we start the fun and games, what do I need to ask you to do? Well, firstly, give a great big Sudoku style slap to that subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber already, we would really appreciate it. And of course, it would reinforce the fact that Sudoku slaps are far bigger slaps than Davy 504 slaps. You know what I'm talking about. Other than that, I need to say happy birthday to a couple of people. Firstly, Charlotta over in Gothenburg, Sweden. Your boyfriend Daniel got in touch with us, Charlotta, and I hope that you have a splendid day today. And also to Darcy Bowes. Darcy, I hope I'm pronouncing your surname correctly. But somewhat strangely, Darcy did say that pie is their favourite, not cake, which is quite ridiculous. So there might have to be birthday pie for Darcy and birthday cake for Charlotta. But I hope the two of you have a marvellous day. I think you've been with us for a while, the pair of you. So we're much thankful for that, or most thankful for that. Now, next on the agenda, we released a setting video earlier today by Leroy, showing how he constructed the puzzle Kashmir. That was a very, very difficult Sudoku. It took me well over an hour. I can't remember exactly how long, but basically a killer Sudoku that took me over an hour. So you can see how Leroy went about setting that. It's really interesting, and only 17-minute video, so definitely worth your attention if you're into the Sudoku construction theory at all. Other than that, I've got nothing else to tell you, so why don't we get on with Small Hat, and I'll read you these rather interesting rules. They are as follows. Contained within the grid are 9 non-overlapping 3x3 square regions which must be located. Each region contains the digits 1 to 9 once each, such that no digit repeats in any row or column. Cells outside regions do not contain digits. So let's pause there and check that we understand that. So we're going to have to put a load of 3x3 regions into this puzzle. They don't overlap with each other. That's going to occupy 81 cells of this puzzle. The puzzle overall is an 11x11, so it's got 121 cells. So there are going to be 40 empty cells in this puzzle, and they're going to not have any digits in at all. Now, it then says pink lines are Renban lines and must contain a set of consecutive digits in any order with no repeats. Cells on a Renban line that are outside any regions do not contribute towards that line's set and still do not contain any digits. So I think that's suggesting, let's say that was a region. And this was and this was a region. And let's say that this was a region. I'm sort of making this up as I go along. Let's say these three were not in a region. Let's make those black. Then these three would not have any digits on, is I think what it's saying. So not only it's almost a tautology, because we've already said that cells outside regions do not contain any digits. And I think this is just reinforcing that. It's saying not only do cells outside regions not contain any digits, but if they are on a Renban, they don't contain any digits as well. And obviously, therefore, that lack of digits cannot contribute anything towards the consecutive set of digits that must exist along the Renban itself. So hopefully that's clear. I think I do sort of understand it. Circled cells And that's quite interesting, actually. I've just noticed we've got 9 circled cells in very suspicious positions there. These circled cells indicate the number of cells from their respective region that particular Ren band passes through. Circled cells indicate the number of cells from their respective region that particular Ren band passes through. For example, if row 3, column 3 were a 6, so if this were a 6, hang on, let me just put that in, then its region would need to cover the entirety of that Ren band line. Right. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So if this was a 3, let me just have a think about that for a second. If this was a 3, it would be saying either this would be the shape that covered this Ren band line, because then there would be 3 digits in the circle's region that are on the Ren band line, or perhaps it could be that shape maybe. And then this Ren band still has 3 digits in the region of the circle. So that is another complicated addition to the rule. Any given Ren band could contain no digits at all. Oh, good grief. Every circle contains a digit. Okay, every circle contains a digit. I was sort of expecting that anyway. And any of these Ren bands could contain no digits, but presumably we can't put no digits on a Ren band that's got a circle because of that last bit of the rule. So that, oh, I see. So there's all sorts of Ren bands hiding in the grid that don't have circles on, and they could have no digits on them. So I suspect this is a hard puzzle. This feels complicated, doesn't it? Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Let's see if we can sort out Medusa's small hat. Now, what on earth do we do to start this? I'm tempted to start not with the long Ren band, or even that Ren band, but with the short Ren bands, because actually, maybe that's not where to start. I might start by saying something that's probably completely obvious to all of you, but I'm just going to convince myself of this fact. These circles, they're sort of very Sudoku-y circles, aren't they? They feel like they're the centres of 3x3 boxes in the grid. And because each of these circles contains a digit, that was one of the instructions, and each of these circles is on a Ren band, or maybe not, maybe that "and" there is not necessary, but this means that each one of these circles is in a different Sudoku region in this puzzle. There are 9 blue cells, and no matter how far I try and get a 3x3 box, if I tried to get this 3x3 box that covers this circle as far away from this circle as I could, it could never touch any of these. So that means that there is a single region that affects this, a single region that affects this, a single region that affects this, etc. So the 9 3x3 boxes we're trying to place in this puzzle, we sort of already know one digit in each of those boxes. Yeah, okay, sorry, I've no idea whether that's meant to be a more profound, or I'm meant to take something more profound than that, but that's all I've got for you. Now, what about this? Now that is on a 4-cell Ren band. So I want to say this has to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, but now I'm questioning whether I've understood the rules. Hang on. Cells, hang on, no. Circled cells. Circled cells indicate the number of cells from their respective region that particular Ren band passes through. Yes, okay. So this needs to contain a digit, but it can't contain more than a 1, 2. It can't contain more than a 4. Because that would be saying that there would be 5 cells on that Ren band in its region, which is clearly impossible. 4 would imply all 4 cells of the region were in this circle's. Well, four of the cells on the Renban were in this circle's region. Yes. So this is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. This is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. This is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, hang on, let's see how long this one is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Right, so this has got a lot of blank real estate on it. And we know that because of a knowledge bomb. And the knowledge bomb is there are only 9 different digits in a Sudoku. And on a pink line, we're not allowed to repeat a digit. So the most cells on this 21 cell line that could contain digits is 9 of them. But I suppose it's possible we don't. Well, we know that those 3 digits have to be. There has to be at least 3 digits. Oh no, that's wrong. No, there's got to be at least 6 digits. Because these can't all be the same digit. Everything in a circle on the same Renban must be a different digit by the rules of the puzzle. So the minimum we could make these would be a 1, 2, 3 triple. And that would imply, because these are in different regions, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So the minimum number of cells in these circles, or the minimum number of Renban cells on this 21 cell pink line is 6. Yeah, okay, so these 3 digits here are weird. They have to add up to at least 6, but they can't add up to more than 9. Ah, that looks difficult actually, because that one, I've just worked out this central circle therefore is not that shape, because if it was that shape, let me just in fact make it so if this was the box that this circle belonged to, then there would be 9 Renban cells in the blue region. So this would be a 9, and therefore the digits 1 to 9 would appear in blue, but this would have to be a digit, but it has to be a digit from 1 to 9 because it's in a Sudoku, and it couldn't be. It would repeat on the Renban. So the central circle has to be, yeah, this line I think is where we're meant to start. This is really constrained, isn't it? Because how do I just take one cell? So I've got to put a 3 by 3 region somehow around this circle. How do I do that to take a minimum number of pink line cells? I could do that and just take 2, but I can't just take 1. So this is at least a 2. I can't see there's any way of making this less than 4, is there? That would be 4. That would be more than 1, 2. That would be 6 on because we're only counting the ones on this Renban here. So that would be 6. That would be 4. And this would be 6 again. Okay, because it's sort of symmetric around at the start of its journeys. Anyway, in fact, is it a totally symmetrical line? Maybe it is. Maybe it has got rotational symmetry, actually. So yeah, okay, so this is not a 6. Right, I see. So this is at least a 2. That one is the same because of the rotational symmetry of the line. There's no way to put a 3 by 3 region around this that doesn't pick up at least 2 cells. So this is at least a 2. I want to put 2 in there. So these two together are at least a 4, and therefore this cannot be greater than 5. But we know it can't be 5 because however we draw a 3 by 3 line around this circle, it's always picking up at least 4. So this, I think this is a 4 because it can't be 5. And oh, yeah, this is lovely. And these can't both be 2 because then they would repeat on the Renban. So this is a 2-3 pair. Oh, this is lovely. Actually, this is lovely. And this isn't at all how I thought this puzzle was going to solve. But look now, I've got a 2-3 pair here. And they are different, these digits. And they're both looking at this cell. So this can't be a 2 or a 3 because it's going to see them in that pairing. So this is 1 or 4. And that's quite interesting for this thing, because now, what is the shape? Oh no, I'm wrong. Okay. Well, if this is a 1, the shape has got to be that, hasn't it? Because I can only take one cell on this Renban. But if it's a 4, I think it's got loads of options, actually. It could do that in a variety of ways. So I don't think I can take that any further. Yeah, but now I'm starting to think about it. I'm now asking about Medusa's eyes. How can Medusa's eyes be 1s? They can't be. Yeah, again, this is a very, very clever puzzle. How are we going to organise our 3x3 around this circle? And the answer is I haven't got a clue. But I can see that however I do it, I can't just take that circle cell and leave those 3 out. That clearly is not going to work. This little cell here is not capable of being in a 3x3 if those 3 are not available to it. So this can't be a 1. And therefore this and this can't be a 1 by the same logic. And these can't be 4s either. Ah. Right, so now I've got 2-3 pairs in these, in column 9 and row 9. We've got 2-3 pairs. Which, yeah, so maybe this circle now. Also, because these 2 digits are different, this can't be a 2 or a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is either 1, 4, 5, or 6. Now, can that be 1? No. There's no way to make a 3x3 around here only take that particular cell. That's not right. So this is 4, 5, or 6. And can we get rid of anything more there? 6 is obviously possible. 4 is obviously possible. 5 looks impossible because the small hat is symmetrical around this axis. So how on earth am I going to pinch an odd number of? Well, I could pinch. Oh no, 5 is possible. I'm talking nonsense. I'm talking absolute nonsense. 5 is totally possible, and I'm being silly. Apologies. Okay, so what do I do with this? I have got a digit in the grid. I'm quite proud of that, to be honest. How long did that take me? Probably about 15 minutes. So maybe it's these circles then. What do we know about those? Anything? They are on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cell line. So there's clearly some gaps along this line, some lacunae that we need to build into it. Okay, so maybe we've got to look at the options for these lines. Again, I don't think 1 is possible. And the reason for that is if we try and just build a 3x3 around this cell without taking any other cell on the Renban, you can see it's instantly impossible. So this is at least a 2. But the maximum value this can be is more complicated, isn't it? Because if we try and hoover up as many purple cells on this Renban as we can, it's going to look something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would also be 5. And it's symmetrical, isn't it, around this axis. So I think that one should be 5 as well. Right, so this digit and this digit, either They're not 1s and they're not 4s by Sudoku, so they are 2s, 3s and 5s. And does it matter that these have to be different? I don't know. Do we know anything about these? Right, here's a small point. These two have to be different because they're on the same Renban line. But making these two different means these two are also different, because if that's a 2 and that's a 3, you can see that will be a 3 and that will be a 2. So these digits are different. Don't know what that's meant to mean. Sorry as well if you're spotting loads of stuff here that I'm supposed to be spotting. What's happening to me is that Medusa has turned me to stone. She's ossified me. No, that's bone. Petrified me. That's better. Basilisk style. Okay. Maybe I'm meant to know which way this goes, because this is a 4. And therefore it's either going up or it's going down. It can't sort of go northeast or southwest, because that's not going to give it a count of 4 along the Renban, is it? That is a count of lots, 6 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. And the line is symmetrical, so that's going to be 6 as well. So this either goes up, which it doesn't. Right. Okay, good. I've got something. This is wrong. And that's because of this Renban line. Because if this Renban line, well, if these digits are all in a region, I've got to fill them with digits. If these cells are all in a region, I've got to fill this Renban line cells with digits. That means there are 5 Renban lines, or 5 cells along this Renban. But this is in a different region to this, and that's got to have at least 2 Renban cells on it from this line. And this has got to have at least 2 Renban lines on it. That's a total of 9, but these two can't both be 2 because they'll repeat on the line. So the minimum those are is a 2 plus a 3, which is 5, and 5 plus 5 there is 10, and there are not 10 different digits in this Sudoku. So this is wrong. Yellow is not that shape. So I think we now know our first region. That is a region here, and I can probably use the pen tool to outline that. If you don't know how to do that, by the way, just click the cog icon on the right of the grid, and you'll see pen tool, enable pen tool. Make sure your pen tool is on. I have mine on all the time for occasions like this. Now, what does that mean? So that now means that we've got our 4 cells here. Yeah. This is interesting. Right. There are now lots of cells I can see on this Renban that can never be in a region. Because remember that the 9 cells on this Renban are entirely consumed by whatever this region picks up, this one here, and whatever this region picks up, and this one that we've just put in. So this one can have a maximum of 3 cells along this Renban. So it could do something like that. But it can never get this cell, because if it gets that cell, it gets to a count of 5, and that's too many. So that cell is not in a region. It's just not in a region at all. Because if it is in a region, this big long Renban has more than 9 digits on it. So the same is true of that, the same is true of that, the same is true of that, the same is true of that. I think that next one also is impossible, because if this one connects here, then I've got 5 cells on this in that region. which again, let's just make sure we understand. So if we did do that, we'd have 5 here, which is breaking this anyway. 4 here, that's 9, plus something up here. So we'd have at least 11 different digits on this Renban, which is clearly nonsense. So that's also got to be not in a region. And this cell, yeah, that's going to get to a count of 4, so that's not in the region. This cell, no, that one might be possible. If I did my region like that, that would be a 3. So maybe we can't darken this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we've knocked out 7 of the 21 cells of this Renban. So we've got to do another 5. There's another 5 cells on this Renban. That are unused. Wow, okay. So, what do I do now? That's my question. Does it matter that... Oh, yes, no, it matters for this, doesn't it? Sorry, yeah, I hadn't spotted this at all. This digit now... Oh, no, hang on, does it? No. Yeah, no, it does matter for this. Gosh, these rules are complicated. It does matter, because now there's no way that this can be a 4, because to be a 4 it would have to collect this cell on the Renban, which we know is not part of this one's region. So this is a 1, and therefore it can't take either of those cells in its region, so that is fixed. There is a region in the corner like this. Don't know if I can do... Oh, I can do the edges. Oh, that's marvellous. But, okay. Right, this is huge. So now we know that this Renban has a 1 on it. So however many cells of this Renban are actually used by regions in the puzzle, we know we're going to know the sequence. So if it was just 2 cells, if it was just these 2 cells, this would be a 2. If it was 3 cells, then this would have to be a 2 or a 3, because we have to be ascending from 1. So this has to be a 1, 2, 3 or 4, and it can't be a 1, it would repeat on the Renban. It can't be a 4, it would repeat in its box. So that is a 2 or a 3. But that 2, 3 doesn't see these 2, so maybe that's not as important as I was thinking it might be. Here's something interesting. One of these is a 3, because we said that these were a 2, 3 pair. And whichever one it is going to have to take... It's going to have to sort of get closer to the corner box. But whichever one is a 2 is not. It's going to have to be that shape, because it can only pick up 2 cells on the eye that it lives on. Here's a simple point. Those digits all have to be in the same region, because this circle needs to be in a 3 by 3. So that's forced, and we'll do some reddage at the bottom there. So those 2 strings are forced. So if that's a 2, let's just think about this. So if that's a 2, that region now can't take this cell, so it has to be that. Which means this is never on a Renban, which means that is a 1, 3 pair. Just to go over that again, if this is a 2, because we have to make this region this shape, this can never be part of a 3 by 3. This string of digits is a consecutive sequence that doesn't get as high as 4, so it must be 1, 2, 3. which would make that a 2, or no, that would make that a 5, because it would see 2 and it would see 3 in one of those squares. So that would be a 5, which would mean that couldn't be. Oh, this is right. So this is going to force. So if this is a 2, this is a 5, this is a 3, and that's a 2, through the medium of sort of madness that we've got going on around these balls in the middle of the grid. But is that symmetrical? It must be symmetrical. Yes, this is lovely. Because the puzzle is symmetrical around this axis, or at least the bits of it we're concentrating are symmetrical about this axis. Imagine that this wasn't a 2 now. So let's just unwind this and say this is a 2 instead. If this is a 2, the red region does this, which means this string of digits now can't include a 4 but does have a 2 on it, so it must be a 1-3 pair. That means this square here is not 2 or 3, so this becomes 5. But if this is 2, this is 3, so this digit now sees 5 here on its Renban and 3 here, so that's a 2. So there is never a 3. There is never a 3, is what I'm going to allege, in these two cells. So these are a 2-5 pair, which means 3 and 4 must be on this Renban somewhere. Now, one of these is a 5. So one of these is consuming quite a lot of line. Something like that. Or like that. Or actually like that, I suppose. What about... I'm not sure what I'm meant to do now. Oh, does it matter that it can't be 3? Does that allow me to somehow... I don't know if it does. I mean, I can see that this shape is ruled out, and this shape is ruled out, and this shape is ruled out now from here. Actually, hang on. So, we know this is part of a 3x3. So from a vertical direction, those two must be part of the same... these two must be part of the same region, mustn't they? But now how could this be in that region? Because if that's in this region, you can't get to a count that's other than 3 for this, so that is not in this region, I want to say. So I think that is sort of a line segment, which means that we've got to go across to here. But do we know? Oh no, we don't know. We don't know whether the orange region goes up, and this would be a 2, or down, and this would be a 5. But we do... but now we've penned this one in a little bit, this one in the corner. Let's make that grey for a moment. This has got to be a 3x3, so all those are in the same region. This can't be a 6 anymore, because 6 involved the whole hat being in the same region, so that's not... this clearly is not in this one's region, so that can't be 6. So this is 4 or 5. Oh, it's not 5, is it? Oh, that's lovely. Oh, of course. It's not 5, because there's a 5 in one of those two. We can't repeat a digit on this Renban. So this is a 4. Oh, so it doesn't take the tip of the hat here, the little rocket, the sort of burner of the rocket. It must go in the corner. That's really beautiful. Good Lord. So that is a region. Actually, hang on a minute. That 8... Oh, yeah. Right. That 8 cannot exist outside one of the 3x3 regions in this puzzle, because if it did, there would be 10 8s in the puzzle, and that seems to be against the rules, isn't it? each region. Yeah, you can't have digits that are outside regions. That is one of the rules. So this is in a region. Well, what region is it part of? It must be part of that one's region, and that means all of those 6 cells are in the same region. So I'm going to make those, I think, purple. That probably does stand out. I've run out of colours that I want to use here. So I think I have to make it purple, even though it sort of overlaps a bit with the Renban line. Now, yeah, again, this is... So I don't think we know which way it goes. It's the same as this one. It could go down, or this one could come right. We don't know. It's on a count of 2 at the moment, these 2 cells, but it could reach a count of 5 very naturally. So now what do we have to do? I don't really know. Wow, I haven't actually got a clue. What is it I'm meant to spot now? This is a 2 or a 3. But this has got so many ways it could achieve that objective. It could achieve 3 like that. If it has to be a 2, it might be. Yeah, 2 is the most... oh no, it's not. 2 has totally 2 different ways. It could do that, or it could do that. No. So let's come back to these then, because one of these was going to be a 2 with a 1-3 pair, wasn't it? But the other one is going to be a 3. Yeah, okay, here is a little point. Let's just say this one's the 2. I don't know which one of these is going to be 2, but let's say it's this way round. So this is 2 and this is 3. Now, this 4 is interesting, because once this is a 3, remember it has to pick up this cell. So this is all going to be red, to make sure that there are 3 red Renban cells in the region. Now, this Renban has 4 digits on it, including a 3. So there must be a 4 on this Renban to make sure that we've got a consecutive sequence. So that's going to be a 4. And what's that? What's that one when we're doing this? That's, yeah, okay, this is very interesting. So remember also that in this sequence of events, because this 2 would see this 5, that will be a 2. So you can't put 2 on this Renban, but you have to put 3 on it. So it's going to be a 5-6 pair. So one of these is a 5-6 pair, and one of them is a 1-3 pair. So these digits are either 1-3 or 5-6. And we better get rid of all of this conjecture, because we don't know what these are. I think that's everything. Okay. So actually I'm quite badly stuck, aren't I? There must be some way. But it's so symmetrical. How am I going to break this? Oh, I see. That's right. I do see how to do it. This is absolutely beautiful. This step is charming. It's charming if this is what you're meant to see, because I am going to allege that is not a 2. And the reason I don't think this can be a 2 is to do, believe it or not, with this Renban. Because if this is a 2, I'm not allowed to visit this cell. So this blue region has to take those cells, which plonks this little digit on this Renban. This has to have a digit on it now. But we already know that these 3 circles are accounting for all 9 digits on this Renban, so I can't add a 10th digit to that sort of panoply. Now, look at this one. The symmetry isn't quite the same, which I hadn't appreciated. Or no, probably I don't quite understand. I can't quite spot how this symmetry is working. But if this was a 2 on the other hand, look, this doesn't flick the edge of this rem band, so it's fine. So this is important. This has to be the 3. This has to be the 2. The red region therefore comes out like this. The 3 region I don't know, but it definitely takes these 3 cells. And now we can do some outlining. Look, that's a oh look, hang on, I can see something over here. Oh, there, in fact, I can see all sorts of things. So that's a 3, which means, well, these 3 are definitely in its region. Run out of colours, so I'm going to have to repeat. I'll make this yellow again. Now, how does this get a count of 3? If it comes up, it can't do it, because it could take those and those, that's a count of 4, or it could take these, that's a count of 2. So I think it has to come down and do that. So that's another region done. Now, what next? Sudoku, that's a 5. So this can't be a 5 because it's on this rem band. This is such a beautiful puzzle. Good Lord. Now, right, so now that's not a 5-6 pair very clearly. So this must be the 1-3 surrounding this. Yeah, that makes sense. That's working from this. So this is not 1-3, obviously. This is the 5-6, which means that's the 4 on the rem band that we were talking about before. So that's a 2. Oh, I see something else that's happening. Right, this is a 2-3 pair. So now we've disambiguated the direction of blue. Because if blue came down, so these are all black. If blue came down, what about this rem band now? Well, it's got a 1 on it, so this has to be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and this cell can be it can't be 2 or 3. So this doesn't work. So blue goes up, which means we get this arrangement. Now this one, oh, that's fine. Right, how does this one work? We've got to take 2 cells from this rem band onto it. Well, I think the only thing I can see that works there is that 3x3. Everything else I'm going to allege is taking the wrong number. It could have worked if we'd taken those cells, but then we're going to overlap with blue. So I think that is a region. And now we've got the most difficult question about that is what colour we'll make. We'll make it red because these reds are obviously quite far apart. Now, so this is 5. So that's got to come down. This therefore can't come down, and that comes across. And we have done all the regions, I think. So now everything, I can't double click white. I tried to double click the white to see if it would let me turn all the whites into blacks, but it won't. So let's do all of that. And now we've just got a Sudoku to do. And let's finish the region outlining because that will make me feel better about myself. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like that. And hopefully we are well on our way to finishing the puzzle. Let's put that around there, that around the bottom of the grid. There. So now, now we know lots and lots of things about, I don't like that one being red. It looks a bit like it's obscuring the lines too much. Maybe I should change this one as well, but what to? For some reason I can see them better down here, so I'm going to leave these alone. So now we must know stuff that we didn't know before about the nature of renbannage, mustn't we? We've got, yes, that's a 2. Because there's only 2 cells on this rem band that are in regions, so that's a 2. That's the world's most useless digit. Actually, it's done absolutely nothing. This is weird. I'm remembering this from other deconstruction puzzles I've done. You know, you look along this row, and because there aren't 9 cells, 9 Sudoku cells in the row, we actually know almost nothing about these 6 cells. You can't do normal Sudoku on them. Yes, okay, so what we should do is focus on the rows and columns where we do have 9 cells, because then we can actually fill in the gaps. Look, those cells have to not be 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, so they are 1, 7, 8 and 9. So these are not 8, is what we can deduce from that. Oh no. Oh, is this going to be hard now? It might be. Column 5, not column 5, you know what I mean. It's actually column 6, but it sort of feels like it should be column 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are 6s, 7s, 8s and 9s. These are not 9s. Oh no, this is no good at all. Okay. How do you do this? Look at this. It's just, it's so harsh. That's just not, it was in the puzzle as a thing, but it's not even used at all. It's an empty renban. Oh, I see. So it was there for symmetry with the other bit of Medusa's hair over there. But actually it falls outside of a region and we can't use it. This one is almost as bad. This digit, I mean, that can be anything because these two haven't got digits on them. Right, so what on earth am I meant to do here? I'm not actually very keen on this grey, and I'm going to change that grey to green because it's a bit too close to black and I wasn't really seeing it as a region. Yeah, okay, this little rocket shape, the small hat, has got to have lots of digits on it. It's got to have 5s and 6s on it, hasn't it? Because it's got to be 6 digits. But we don't know anything about 6s, and we know very little about 5s. How on earth are we meant to start this puzzle? How long is this one in the bottom right? The smile. It's not the smile, it's the chin. The chin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 cells of chin. And I can see that corner digit there can't appear on this renban. So this has to be capable of not being on a 7-cell renban. So it has to be 1, 2, 8 or 9. Because I think on a 7-cell renban, if you think about the numbers 1 to 9 and line them up, and then take a slice of 7 of them, however you do that, the only digits you could ever miss out would be extreme digits. This can't be a 1, look. So this is 2, 8 or 9. I think there's something I could probably work out there with this one, but it's not jumping out into my brain how that would work. Yeah, I sort of feel like this can't be an 8. Because if this was an 8, you couldn't put 9 on the line. And then 9 in the box would have to go there, where it would have to be joined by 8. So I'm going to claim that can't be 8. Now, does it work the same way for 2? If 2 is... No, not quite. So if 2 was here, you couldn't put 1 on this line. But you'd need to put 1 in the box, but you could put the 1 there because there is a 1 there, so that doesn't quite work the same way. Bobbins, right, okay. Okay, which Renbans have we not looked at? We've got the enormous Renban, which should have 9 digits on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that has 9 on it. We've got this Renban. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this one has almost all the digits on it. So it's only missing 1 or 9. Oh, yes, okay. So where does 2 go in this box? It can't go, it can't repeat on the Renban, and it can't be in those cells. So that's a 2. Now we're away, he says. Away being a euphemistic way of describing what we are. There's a 2 up here by Sudoku. There's no 2 on the small hat anymore. So this has got more digits on it than it did before then. It's 6 digits long, and so it's either 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means it doesn't have to have a 9 on it, but it does have to have an 8 on it, and that 8 has to be in one of those 2 cells. Oh, is there an 8 in one of... No, there isn't. I was wondering whether we could get an 8 in one of those 2 cells from column 6, but no, we just can't. So there's also 7s. We know nothing. There's literally no 7s in the grid. There's probably a couple of pencil mark 7s, but that's as good as we've got. 5 has to go on here, but 5's got 3 positions which are not interesting. We don't know whether it's got a 3 on it. If it did have a 3 on it, it still wouldn't be interesting. Three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, okay, I can do something with that. This line needs to have an 8 on it, because it's an 8-cell Renban line. So there's no way we can miss 8 off, because then we'd only have the digits 1 to 7 available. There are only 7 of those. So where is the 8 going on this Renban line? Well, it's not here. This 8, the given 8 actually is very powerful. Look, it knocks an 8 out of there. So where is the 8? It's in one of those 2 cells across this box, which is looking at this. So that is not an 8, and we get an 8 here. Which means this is not an 8, which now gives us a 6, 7 pair in column 6, which means this is not 6 or 7, this is not 6 or 7. Which I'm sure does all sorts of clever things. Right, well now we've got a 6, 7 pair on this Renban, which means that can't be 7 anymore. And that is a 1 or a 9, and that's interesting in the context of a 8-cell Renban. Because whatever that is, it's defining the Renban, if you see what I mean. If this was a 1, then we know that we would have to put... we wouldn't put a 9 on, so we'd have to put, if this is a 1, we'd have to put 3s, 4s and 8s. So that would be an 8. Oh yes, in fact that is an 8, isn't it? Because we said we had to put an 8 on this line. I could have done that before. So 8 does live in the green box somewhere. So 8 is in one of 2 places in the green box. But hang on, I was thinking about this other. If this was 1, then this is a 3, 4 pair. If this is 9, then you can't put 1 on. So this is still a 3, 4 pair. That's weird. I think that's true though, isn't it? This is the... Yes, it is true. I'm not thinking about this very clearly, but whatever this is, it is the extreme digit on the Renban. So one way of thinking about this Renban is that all the other digits, the 2, 3, 4s, 5, 6s, 7s and 8s, have to appear in the other cells. And we've actually got all of those apart from these 2. So these are a 3, 4 pair, which is absolutely useless. No, no it's not. No it's not. 3, 4, 3, 4. So these have to be a 3, 4 pair. Which, no, that is useless. That has done nothing. But now in the orange box, I've not put a 1 in, so I can do that. That's got to be a 1. And now... Oh, no. Now we will say that... Actually, I can do something with that. Where does 1 go in box 3? I'm going to call this box 3 just because it feels like it should be box 3. But 1 can't go on this Renban because it would need to have a 2 with it to be consecutive. So that's got to be a 1, which means that is not a 1. Now what? I don't know is the answer. 1 in this box is in one of those 3. I wouldn't. Ooh, no, 1 is here. Okay, where does 1 go in green? It's got to go here because its only other option would be to be on this Renban, which we know doesn't have a 2 on it, so it definitely doesn't have a 1 on it because that's going to give it a big problem. That is not a 1. Ah, got you, you little what's-it. Got you, you little what's-it. Right, what's that digit? That is not an 8. That is a 7, 9 pair, and this digit is a 1. Which means this digit is not 1, 7 or 9. That is an 8, which, oh, this is so lovely. Look at this. Through the medium of madness that is the Medusa's chin, that square is a 9 now because it sees the 8, which means that square in the corner is a 2. This is an 8 by Sudoku. And the puzzle seems to not be broken yet. This... What does that do? I don't know, I have to say, but that still feels like it's at least yeah. Where does 1 go in yellow down here? Now, it's got 2 options on the face of it, but it can't go there because that will create a 1, 2, 3 Renban. I have to repeat the 2 in the red box. So this is a 1, which actually doesn't do... Oh, no, no. There's not 2 Renban when there's a 1 looking there. Let's just do Sudoku. So that's all gets done. How many 1s have we got? I feel like we've got all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, I've got 7 1s in the puzzle. Oh, this is so weird. These don't, this box and this box, although they're the only places I've got to put 1s in, they don't see each other at all. Oh no, so in fact it's worse than that. I can put the 1 in here by Sudoku, but now how do I put the 1 in there? Ah! There's no... I've got 8 1s in the puzzle and I can't do the 9th one. I know it's not there, don't I? Because I know this Renban has a 9 on it. So it's missing a 1 and a 2. Oh, that's a good point. Okay. So where does 9, remember, can't repeat on this Renban. So where does 9 go in this box? It's got to go on this Renban, which means that is a 9, 8, 7 Renban. Which means that these squares have got to be the other digits. They are going to be 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s. And that's not a 3, look. And that's not a 3, look. And that's not a 3, look. So that's a 3. Again, look. Column 10 has only got 6 digits on it. Column 11 has only got 6 digits on it. So literally we cannot do anything with these cells. Oh no. All right, 2 in box 7. You know what I mean again. It's got to not be here, because then it would repeat on the massive rem band. So that's a 2, that's a 2. Now how many 2s have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So literally it's the same thing again, isn't it? I don't believe it. Well, I've got it down to 2 cells. That's better than I did with the 1, but I don't think I know which it is. I don't think I know. I've got 8 2s and 8 1s in the puzzle, and I still don't know where the last ones go. Actually, I'm going to pencil mark the 1s. The 1s are not here because they can't go on this Ren band. So the 1s are in one of 3 places. And that's so stupid. This Ren band is so stupid. Bobbins. Okay, let's have a look at row 3. Because I have 5 digits in that row. So I need 3, 6, 7s and 9s into these cells. 3, 6, 7, 9. Now what can we eliminate? We can eliminate apparently absolutely nothing. Is that really true? Is it really true I can actually eliminate nothing? It apparently is. So, oh good lord. What am I meant to look at here? Has anyone got any ideas? Right, let's try and do Sudoku. 1, 2, 3, 4 in that column. So this square, which can't be 8 or 9, is down to just being 5, 6s or 7s. That's not really good enough, is it? Oh, there's a small point. 4 is on this tiny rem band. So there's a 4 on here, along with presumably 3 or 5, therefore. I don't see how to do that, though. Wow. Wow, you rotten, rotten, rotten thing. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's just no let up. It's just not giving me what I need it to do. That's not a 4, look. So this is 5 or 6. So there's a 4 in one of these cells. It just doesn't do anything to the blue box. Okay. Okay, let's try this row again. So we need to put, no, this is not that great, is it? Although I've got a 4 here. Oh, right, in fact, let's do that. Where does 4 go in row 2? It's not there because of this 4. It doesn't seem to be able to be there, and it doesn't seem to be able to be there, so it's a hidden single in the row, which is, well, I was hoping that was going to be really profoundly important, but it's just not. So now in this row, we've got 3s, 5s, 6s and 7s to place. So 3 is a hidden single in row 2. It can only go here, which means these are not 3s. And it means that I've got, that's a 3, that's a 4. So 4 is locked into one of 2 places in column 1. 4, 3. This cell has to be a 5, 6 or 7 by Sudoku. And look, if you look at row 3 now, where does the 3 go in it? And we don't know, but it's in one of those 2 cells, so it's not able to be here. There's definitely a 3 in row 3 in one of these 2, so that's got to be a 5. Which is lovely, actually. That seems to suggest this cell has to be a 5, as it only place 5 can go in that box. Now, how does that affect the state of play in the world? So, so now on this Renban I have a 3. So I know there's no 9 on it, don't I? Isn't it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Didn't I work that out earlier? Yes, it is. So that's not 9. So this has got to be 6 or 7, and it's the opposite of this. So, oh no. So now I've got a 6, 7 pair in this row, and I was immediately looking at this cell, thinking it would be beautiful, but of course we don't know anything about it. We just know it's not a 6 or a 7 or a 3 or a 4 or an 8. So that digit, actually, 1, 2, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be 5. Can't be 6, 7 or 8, so it's 5 or 9. By Sudoku type things, but unfortunately we don't know which. The rotters of the world are alive and well, aren't they? Okay, so what do we do now? 5 here means that's a 6. That's a 5. That's left a 7, 9 pair in row 6, so that's no good. This is not a 6 anymore. 5 in this column is now restricted. It can't go there. It doesn't seem to be able to be there. So it seems to have to go here, which gives me a 4, well, the useless 4, 6 pair up here, and 6 is in one of 3 places. Literally one of 3 places, don't know which one. 4, 6, 5. Okay. uh, 4, 6, 7, 8. I don't know what to do. Can we? What am I meant to be looking at here? Is this obvious? It really doesn't feel obvious, I have to say. Okay, what about this box? So this square here has got to be a 6, 7 or a 9, I think. It can't be 3, I see that, but I think it can be. At least I suppose I've got 9 digits in this column to actually think about. So this square has to be a 6, 7 or a 9. So, I see. So the question to ask about this column is where does 8 go? And it has to go here. So that's an 8. This is a 7, 9 pair. Which probably, so 8 is now in one of 2 places in this box. Now if you put 8 on the Renban, 9 couldn't go on the Renban, so it would have to be 8, 7, 6 in some order or another, but I don't think that's prohibited. So, right, okay, we know this digit, don't we, presumably, because we know this sequence is every digit apart from 1 and 2, and I've not put a 7 on it. So that's a 7. Which means 7 is a vertical digit in the yellow box, which means that this is not a 7, which is absolutely useless. I've just looked, I'm over an hour. How can I be over an hour? Well, I mean, I know how I can be, but I mean, that has flown past. Right, 9 in this box is in one of 2 places, which means this is not a 9, which means 9 is in one of these 2 places in purple, which means that this is not a 9, which means I've got a 6, 7 pair in green. So that means, oh, no, this is much better. Let's just check this. Is this right? 9 is vertical here, so 9 is there, so 9 is in, yeah, so 9 in green, I think, has to be placed exactly there, which means that's an 8, which means that's not a 9. I've got a 6, 7 pair here now, so that can't be 7, and this can't be 6. I've got a 3, 9 pair here, 6, 7 pair here. This is a 9. It's forced by Sudoku. Is that right? Yes, that is right. Okay. Yes, so this box needs 1s, 2s and 6s, and that square can't be a 2 or a 6, so that's got to be a 1. So I think we can actually write in a 2-6 pair here, and somehow our blue box is done, and somehow our 9th 1 has been achieved. And right, this row is looking particularly recalcitrant, isn't it? And things like these columns, because we haven't got 9 digits, I don't even really know how to approach them. I'll get rid of my 3s in there. Bobbins. I don't know where to look. Okay. Does anyone know what I'm meant to be focusing on here? I don't know. Maybe I've got to pencil mark this box more fully. 3 5s, 7s and 9s. It's not. It doesn't look salubrious though, does it? 3, 5, 7 or 9. That is not 5. That, oh, these two are not 7 because of this 7. So there's a 3-9 pair in this column. This digit seems to be able to be just about anything it likes. Wow. I don't see how to resolve that, I'm afraid. Okay, let's have a look at this column where we need 6s, 7s and 8. Ah, this is a 6 or a 7, I think. Can't be. Oh, so right. So one question we could have asked is where does 8 go in column 3? And it has to go at the bottom, which is lovely because that is now not capable of having a 9 on it. So this is a 6-7 pair. Which means these two squares have got to be 5 and something. 5 and 4, I want to say. Somehow, some way, that has not done anything, which is very depressing. Okay, so where does 4 go in this row then? That is a question we can legitimately ask. It's got to go in the corner. No song, but this is now a 6 or a 7, which makes a pair in this column. So these two squares have got to be 5 and 9, which doesn't do anything. And this square's got to be a 6 or a 7. Ah, that does something. Yes, okay. So this being a 6 or a 7 means that we've got a 6-7 pair in this column, and that square has to be a 9. And therefore this square has to be a 5. Therefore this square has to be a 7. Oh, yeah, hang on, this is doing something. This is doing something, believe it or not. Because this 7 is on the great big long line. And that 7, therefore, forces this square, I think, to have to be a 6. And, oh, don't you dare. I don't believe it. It does nothing. This square can't be a 3, I've just noticed, because it sees 3 on the medium of its line. So the... Oh, that was so nearly exciting. Well, this is quite interesting now, because something must disambiguate this grid, which probably means I've missed some secret Sudoku trick that we're going to have to find soon. Right, this square's not a 7, so this is 3, 5 or 9. Yeah, I feel I'm close to understanding this, but I haven't understood how to disambiguate this final pattern. There must be a way of doing it. I might have to colour the 6s and the 7s, which will be entertaining. But before we do that, can we see anything more simple? That is a good question, isn't it? Is there some way? Have we got some digit that's looking at another digit that's going to give me some cause for joy here? Don't you want to give me joy, puzzle? I can't see where it is. I'm so sorry if you've spotted it and you're getting annoyed. So is it going to be Sudoku? I mean, it could well be, obviously, because the Sudoku here is very strange. Yes, there it is. It is Sudoku. That 6 is seeing that square. Is that really going to go through the grid? Well, it might, actually. It might. Oh, go on. Go on. A bit. That's 6. Yes, that's giving me the 2 and the 6 over here, which immediately dies a death. But what did I do over here? I got a 6. Yeah, I got a 6 there. 6, 4. 4, 5, 4, 3. This 6 is seeing that 7. That's 6. The 7 does the 7 and the 9. Good grief, it is doing it. So something might... Yes, oh, I see. Now this 5 sees that square through the absolute madness of the 21 cell Renban line. So that's a 9, and that means that's a 9, and that's a 3, which means I need to put a 3 in this box. It goes here, and that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've done it. Let's click tick. Oh, that doesn't look... Oh, okay. No, we cannot blame Sven for this. The software does not understand that this grid is correct, and that is not surprising. I have no clue if this grid is correct, but I think I did the puzzle logically. Let me just quickly scan for repeated digits in the 9 cell regions that we have. I have got... Yeah, I mean, I will have to look at this in editing when I edit the video later and see whether I think I can see any problems with it. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything, but that doesn't mean it's correct. I think it is. I think I did it logically. It was magnificent. The cogito, take a bow. I mean, what I think is so impressive about this puzzle is it's so original. Although it takes and builds on some rules we understand, like Renban rules, and does it in a completely fresh way. This is seriously clever stuff. It really is. Absolutely beautiful. Some of the logic involved in these circles and the disambiguation of these was gorgeous. And then it's almost mystical the way it unwinds at the end. It really is. I mean, the digits were bouncing around all over the place, either through a sort of crazy Sudoku or weird Renban. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Sorry for taking so much of your time this evening. I hope you don't mind. Do let me know in the comments. We do try and keep a careful track of whether people want more long videos or more short videos. And we have to say, there never is a consensus. Some people like books, some people like tweets. That's the way the world seems to go. We'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.